conversation of looking at the papers. I always say like this somehow is probably the best segment that would allow us to look into the current affairs, because there are a couple of other things that we touch on, not just necessarily one subject. And so that's what we're doing this morning. You have the Daily Nation, I have the People Daily, and I also have the Standard newspaper, hard copy. And here we go. First things first, what it is that you have, the Daily Nation. What went wrong? Well, it's on this chopper. We have lost 10 soldiers while 13 have been taken to hospital, said Kajiado West Deputy Commissioner. Well, this again is not as clear, but then again, those are the numbers that we have so far. Around 8:30 a.m. yesterday, a Kenya Air Force I don't know how to say hizo tunasemonga MI-17 usianze kusema vitu zingine hapo, nianza kushikanisha 171 and everything, and that's not how it's supposed to be said. Helicopter crossed from Kisamis over Rogai, that is hill, on its way to Olintika in Kajiado County. On board were 23 soldiers, including 2 pilots and their squad leader. The sky was not very clear, but the helicopter had flown past the biggest obstacle, the hill. And that is a story captured on page 8. What more is there to say about this? May the souls of the ones that have lost their lives rest in peace. But this is unfortunate, and these cases are here on the rise. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's a sad state of affairs, because in losing fellow Kenyans, it's sad. Most of the soldiers who protect the land, and I heard they were on a training mission. Yeah. So we offer condolences to their families, because at the end of the day, losing a loved one is never going to be easy, and we're in such a weird state where death is something that is so common these days in Kenya. Yeah. We just pray and hope that things get better. We
certainly hope for that. It's quite unfortunate. Investigations still on. And of course, we'll be having our team follow up on this to keep you posted. And the rally is on. Proudly Kenyan. Now let the WRC Safari Rally fun begin. I don't know why people have equated this to fun, but the numerous people have engaged have also recollected or remembered the times when, of course, the rally moments were rally moments, when you had to wake up very early in the morning and stand somewhere on the road where you know these cruisers will cruise through, and you just get to enjoy this beautiful moment. After quite a long time, about 19 years, here we are again.
It's actually good. You see now at least Naivasha is trending.
Yes.
Communication.
I know.
But the rally brings about economic value to the country, because you see it's an international event. And so if we market ourselves well, we can be able to reap from the fruits of the rally. And I hope everyone stays safe. For those who are going to attend, they stay safe. And because you see, COVID is still there.
Yes.
But we're acting as if it's not there. Watu wanapiga sherehe bila hasira, but we have to find a way and also be safe in as much as we're having fun. But it's a good thing to have the rally back. This in itself will create a better economic environment for the country. Yeah.
You've said a very important thing, that aspect of the fact that COVID-19 is still here with us, and people need to be cautious. People need to be keen on observing the protocols as set by the government. I have not heard someone speaking about that. Most of the times we're just excited that it's here, it's 19 years. We tend to forget this crucial and very, very important thing. So make sure that you keep it that, and make sure that you are safe. Hatutaki zile stories zile za Machakos. Safari Sevens.
Sevens. What happened at Masaku? But you know, they will be trending photos.
They'll definitely. I mean, by the time I don't know whether you saw one. There was one that walikuwa wamejibamba. I don't know if it's Sonko who tweeted or who tweeted. Watu tayari wameanza kujibamba na hata gari haijafika huko.
Magari sherehe imeanza. We are a country that loves having a good time. But we should also take care of ourselves. That's because true. You see, in as much as we're trying to become an economic hub, there's no point of becoming a strong economy where there are no lives.
That's true.
So let's also take care and have fun.
And at least from what we saw with the Madaraka Day celebrations, I can attest to the fact that it is important that we are careful. Crowds really, let's avoid as much as we can. And different stories that are also captured on the front page of the Daily Nation. Kabogo in a 4.5 billion land bribe dispute. And the conversation is on. I don't know, I just don't know what bedevils or what is so, bad about this previous governor, so the governors that were there. It's also not so rosy for Mike Sonko, and I think is one of the stories that has been captured on the Daily Nation, yes, but also on the front page of the likes of the People Daily. And here we are. So former Kiambu Governor William Kabogo is embroiled in a 4.5 billion land bribery row with private investors behind the expensive Tattoo City development. These conversations are out here, left, right, and center. Do you suppose we're going to realize anything in terms of getting into the bottom of it?
See, the problem is Chapter 6 of the Constitution.
Yes.
Leadership and integrity. They all fail this. And that shows that our institutions, like IBC, that clears these individuals, do they really do the due diligence in clearing someone? So we need to go back as a nation and look at the integrity level in leadership. We need to raise that level. So I will stop, I keep saying, if you elect a clown, expect a circus.
That's true.
And there's a saying that says, if an idiot is in power, the masses are well represented. So we need to first change so that we can change what is there. Because if we move away from this issue of always electing clowns, then the country will go forward. So we need to raise the integrity and leadership threshold in Kenya so we can be able to avoid such instances. It is sad, and if you listen to the judgment in Sonko's case, they say that he also didn't conduct himself as per the office that he was holding.
Right.
So we have to go back and have a conversation as a country and focus on having leaders of integrity so that we can be able to move forward. Because otherwise we'll just be here doing the same thing, expecting different results, which is never going to happen. All right, true to it. It goes back or boils down back to us. We are almost headed to a general election, and the question is just how set are you to pick leaders of ideology, leaders that have great manifestos that can transform the nation. Ours has always been a game of tribal affiliation. Ours has been a game of, I affiliate to this particular party, that this is my person, and therefore we overlook the nitty-gritty important things that would guarantee us getting, great leaders. We're talking about Kiambu that has had three governors. Three governors. That's absurd. In less than 10
and
years.
The other ones that have been rooted out, honestly, have not been rooted out on great basis. And therefore, it gets to a point whereby we need to actually call ourselves down to a meeting and probably just get to know what best we can do in terms of getting ourselves leaders that are worth, and we do not fall short of those.
We don't.
They are there.
They are there.
Yes, they are there. So, as we continue BBI, and the 7 Court of Appeal judges who will hear BBI case, Court of Appeal President Daniel Musinga has appointed a 7-judge bench to hear 5 appeals filed against a High Court ruling that blocked a plan to change the Constitution. Justice Musinga is the presiding judge in the bench that will determine the fate of the BBI. It's quite a long time since we spoke about the BBI with you, and then the quashing was there, and here we are today. Probably some of the key things that you used to raise, they fall short of this and that and everything, and they're almost the very same things that were raised in court, at the level of High Court. Well, this to many appeared as though it is, judicial activism, but then again, there's the backup of the Constitution and what the laws dictate. And evidently, one would say that these High Court judges were somehow justified based on the case that they were presenting. Well, the proponents are out here to defend themselves. Just how possible is it for them to do the same, even as we look at these individuals that have been selected?
First and foremost, they have an uphill task. Because the judgment that was given at the High Court was well documented. So, and there were 21 grounds. So they have an uphill task in trying to make sure that the entire judgment is given in their favor. Now, and when you look at the 7-judge bench, courtesy of Daniel Musinga, is a really good bench. Personally, I know one of the judges there, Patrick Kiage, happens to be my lecturer back in campus.
All right.
And so I can tell you for sure that those are legal minds, sound legal minds there. And Tio just joined them courtesy of being, he was among the 40 judges that were shortlisted to get appointment. So he just joined them. So I believe the construction of that bench is a really good bench. And we are waiting to, I've actually gone through both submissions from the petitioners and the respondents. And I believe Kenyans are going to see an interesting battle going forward. But they have an uphill task because there are sound questions on, when you look at, for example, the signature collections, when you look at how it was carried out.
Yes.
So when the constitution is, you know, the 2010 constitution of Kenya is very progressive, as people say. But at the same time, the drafters protected it from anyone trying to address it or alienate it.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, we have to find a solution where it protects itself, and that is what it is doing. So when the judges speak, it is more or less the constitution speaking because they are guided by the law.
All right.
So some people are still in the back constitution, and you know the elitist political class hate a constitution where they find that they intend to do something, but it prevents them from doing it.
Okay.
So they try to find a shortcut. A constitution is always an impediment to a political class because at the end of the day, it makes them fall short of an agenda that they had. So we as Kenyans should always protect the constitution because that is where the laws of the land stand. That is actually, back in school, it's what we used to call the supreme law. That is where everything starts. So if that fails, we're a lawless country and become a jungle. So survival for the fittest. Because they keep saying the courts are the last line of defense. Without a proper constitution, a strong constitution, the judiciary fails.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, we're looking at that, and true to it, we have seen nations going down just because, you know, if the constitution was there, then the leadership decided to go against it, and, you know, the nations crumbled down. We keep being told that we're not special in any way, and therefore we need to have individuals that are strong enough to be able to protect the, you know, well-being of the constitution, and, you know, push us to a point where we're able to implement the same. And again, we have Honorable Dennis Kiplagat joining us this morning for this particular conversation. Usingizi ilikuwa tamu sana Mhesh.
No.
When I spoke to Mhesh Jana Nudin, he told me I'll be there at 5. I said, all right, let's wait and see. But if there's a person I am certain, even before we say it or anything, that he will be here.
Yeah.
Hata you saa 8 tukisema ni huyu jamaa anaitwa Nudin. But good to have you for the very first time in studio. How are you?
Thank you, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. Karibu sana.
Yes,
tumeangalia vitu mbili tatu. Nodin Kagai is his name.
Yes, Nodin.
This is Dennis. You know, I call him honorable because he seeks to vie. This is the first time?
Yes, this is my first time, and I thank God so much. I'm here. Unfortunately, Kenyan timers, I had a jam. You know, our government is building a super highway in Mombasa Road from I think Westlands to somewhere there. So unfortunately there was a little bit of commotion there, and I'm here.
Right.
Yes.
But we are happy to have you, and nonetheless we say better late than never.
Exactly.
Na sisi tunapiga hapa siasa tukiangalia maneno ya BBI. First of all, your position on BBI not necessarily come out clean because then it appears that you know, it is a subject that is in court, and the legal minds will tell you that sometimes when it's in court you don't you avoid touching much on it so that you do not inform the decision that the courts will make. But what do you make of it so far? We already have the 7 Court of Appeal judges who will be here to hear the BBI case. Then it determines what direction we take as a nation. Remember, the IBC the other day was speaking of a scenario where they would be able to look into the 70 constitution and, you know, award us that as per expected by the BBI bill. But it's a bit of a confusing scenario, and it determines whether we go to the general election, whether your constituency will be split to 2. I do not know how big Kasarani is, or whether it will stick to that. What do you make of the conversation that we have so far?
Yes, you see, with the BBI, I would like to believe the 7 judges that the 7 judges panel, they're the right person, they're the right mind on the BBI case ruling. So I want to believe that the last jurisdiction that will come up upon is the right thing for the whole of Kenya. But you see, according to the BBI is looking forward to changing the constitution of Kenya. So the constitution of Kenya is a constitution that is supposed to govern me and you, regardless of who you are, where you are, if you are in Turkana, you are in Kisumu or Mombasa, right? So now I believe that you're going to come up with something that is going to govern Kenyans in the right direction. You see, BBI touches on a lot of issues. Concerning the constituencies, the time frame between now and 2022 general election, IBC said that they are not able to partition the constituencies because now after the time frame that we have does not allow IBC even to allocate resources to the new constituencies. Yeah. So I'd like to believe that, or let me say that for now we wish to wait for the judgment, their judgment. Mm-hmm. That is the only thing that we can have.
Nordin, briefly, maybe just to loop in Nordin, even as we wait for their judgment, I don't know just how much more timelines we have. Like IBC would rightfully put it, instigated in law that, in a year to the elections, I think, or thereabout, you're not supposed to review on these boundaries that we're speaking about. Yeah. We're not supposed to even hold by elections and the likes. Do we still believe that we have time if the courts were to decide, and give the BBI the clean bill of health?
Legally speaking, there's no time. But politically speaking, there's always time for everything.
But who's going to defend this for us? I mean, you're the legal minds.
Let me tell you. And that is why there's this talk of pushing for the elections. You've heard about it, right? That is so as to accommodate whatever those who want to pass the BBI, so that it doesn't fall short of the timelines as per the Constitution. So that's why I'm saying, legally speaking, they are time barred. Because by the time this matter is decided, that is the Court of Appeal, and then someone goes to the Supreme Court, they don't have time. And now the other day I'm hearing ABC say, we don't even have funds to conduct a general election. What happened to the, this is why we keep saying the IBC and other institutions like need to be independent, like the judiciary and all of that. They all have funds that need to be activated as per the Constitution. Like the judiciary has judiciary fund that has never been activated to date. So if you activate that, they don't have to go every day to the executive to seek money, right? The treasury, right? Now you see, if IBC had its own fund that it managed, no one will be able to control it. Because if you look at IBC right now, it's not even well constituted. Is it by design? Because after all these people resigned from office, what stopped us from actually gazetting the vacancies, from actually recruiting new commissioners? But it's been like that. But it's more or less like it's a stool without two legs. So it's on one leg. So it's shaky. Literally, exactly. And you cannot sit on something like that. So it's actually, that's why I'm saying it's the political aspect. And the sad reality is that politics is everywhere. In marriage, at work, everywhere. So, like I said, legally speaking, they are time barred. But politically speaking, they are trying to find a way of how they can accommodate whatever they want to accommodate. And that's a sad reality, because at the end of the day, all they need, as they're saying, they need to go to parliament and seek an extension. And as you know, members of parliament who belong to political parties owned by the same individuals. So they get panel beaten into a certain position, like we saw the other day. I, member X, represent constituency X. My people vote yes. Which people? Who told you to vote yes? You realize? So at the end of the day, a member of parliament who has 1 million loans being told we just need 1 more year, they won't say no to that. So where do you come in as a Kenyan? But we can tell them for free, the people will go to court. We already seen people like the Open Society speaking about it. Because at the end of the day, the Constitution says it is the second Tuesday of August. So until that changes in the Constitution, they have a very rough time coming ahead.
Well, of course, there are conversations of whether we can delay the elections. That is also one thing that if we are to start discussing, then we open a Pandora's box. If you were to go to the election, say, in August, with IBC as confirmed right now, would you have confidence that you will get justice, not just as a Kenyan, but also as an aspirant, in terms of, getting free and fair process? We definitely want to have a referee. And all quarters would want to have a referee who's not biased, a referee who's balanced, a referee who understands the importance of awarding, honesty and all that. Do you suppose that IEBC is well positioned as it is? I had gentlemen here yesterday who argued that if we're going with the same characters that we had in 2017, that landed us into the trouble that we had in 2017, that have not shown us much in terms of, changing or undoing the wrong that was done then, would you believe that they are good enough to take us to another election?
Yeah, for now, my opinion about the characters at the IBC seems a little bit shaky as the way they are. You see, after the general election, we had people resigning from their dockets at the IBC. And you see, with the IBC, those dockets were supposed to be filled up to now.
Yeah.
So why was the docket left vacant up to now? So those are the questions that we keep asking ourselves. But we need now to change the characters if possible. If the time frames agrees for changing what? Those characters there. Because you see, even the decision that they are making, their decisions are based politically. And as we have said, IBC is supposed to be an independent body, right? Yes. So now their decisions are not supposed to be influenced from forces outside. So right now, I really don't trust them that much. I'm afraid they are going to land as the same situation that we are last time.
Okay.
As for now, no.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's the sad reality of events.
We're actually still waiting for the French people to wake up so that we get to see what is in the server.
In the server.
Yeah,
Well, at least Chebukati, in trying to tell us that he's ready to take us through an election, said that they're going to open the server. So we're like, why do you open the server at this hour?
Now you're opening the server when you're almost heading to another election. You see, and those are the reasons now. You see, those are the reasons now that make me not to trust them. Yes.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, because how can you work without your juniors? You know, for an organization to be full, we need managing director and staff. That protocol, right?
That's true.
Yeah, but if you are asked of everything, a change even of IBC, the characters of those dockets, that is not a lie. It's so open to everybody.
That the person, daylight.
Yeah, that's daylight, you know. Yeah.
Let's wait and see. Let's really wait and see. It's going to be interesting to watch, though not so friendly. We hope we can be able to address some of these key things before it gets to a point where we can't control. Let's talk matters vaccines and matters COVID-19. Is a story captured on the front page still, expounded on page 11, and it speaks of relax. COVID vaccine does not reduce sperm count. Gentlemen, here we are. Since the country started the vaccination exercise, there has been a lot of misinformation on social media regarding the effect of the vaccine on fertility, with claims that they can interfere with the sperm count. It's still not so clear of what we're getting ourselves into. Nobody knows about this globally, but we are here. We can only bank on hope and say that, you know what, let's hope that this is the only thing. I mean, this is the only thing that you would take to keep yourself alive, and therefore you just look at the positive side. But here we are. One, the discrepancies that are here, the fact that not every other Kenyan who got the first jab has been able to get the second jab, and the fact that people are out here queuing, long lines, but are not even able to access the jab. But we cross fingers that it certainly works.
Yeah. You see, the vaccine, I've always had a question. Why should we only focus on giving Kenyans one vaccine, that is AstraZeneca? Why can't you have a variety of vaccines in the country?
Yeah.
Because now, the other day, the CS made a blunder in saying the vaccines are done, be prepared to take a different type of vaccine as a second jab. That doesn't make sense. That's like wearing your right foot on the left and the left on the right. You see, our priorities are misplaced. They're more or less upside down. As a country, we should focus on vaccinating the people so we get back to try and re-engineer and recover our economy, which is dwindling, as the day goes by. But we are focused on side shows that really don't matter. We keep seeing daily, they give us statistics of numbers every day, how the COVID cases are rising. But there's no solution, you realize? And we keep waiting for donations every other day. Why can't we just sit down as a nation and focus on vaccinating the people first and foremost? Because it's going to be sad where you're constructing all these roads for no one to drive. The same roads that, you see it's even funny. The same roads that cost 1.5 billion per kilometer. It's even sad when you realize such things. 1.5 billion a kilometer.
That's true. That's quite on the high.
So you see, our priorities are upside down. If we focus, that is because the leaders that are there focus majorly on themselves and not the people. Because if you focus on the people, you'll be able to vaccinate. Like we have, people say don't compare, but you have to learn from other countries.
Yeah.
The United States has almost vaccinated every single person in their country. All right? Well, that is because they want to do it. Because they believe a healthy nation is a wealthy nation.
That's true.
But you believe in politics 24/7. You realize?
Even the vaccine that hits the country is
some
still
of them don't even
about.
know if they're going to be there.
Yes.
Courtesy of that election.
All right.
You know, and the more they extend the election, the more most of them won't even be there. You realize? So what we need to do is we need to focus. I believe we need to allow the various types of vaccines that have been approved in the country, so that people can get vaccinated. You decide what you want. If it's AstraZeneca, Sputnik, the Chinese one, the Pfizer one, that's upon you. Because I don't understand why you have to force ourselves to follow just one rigid way, where once we get there, they are not even enough to make matters worse. Realize? Because there are those people who don't need, there are those people who are well off, for example. They don't need to get the free jab. So reduce the number of people who should get the free jab, and those who are able to buy or pay for a jab, they didn't pay for the jab at the end of the day, because there are terms and conditions they'll go through. If you believe this is okay with me, tick yes and pay and get your jab and move on. But we decide to block other vaccines from coming. So which means, is it business? Because everything in Kenya, it's a scandal until we know. So we're waiting 2, 3 or 8 months ahead to realize, oh, so the vaccines was a scam.
It was a scam.
And then it will be all over the dailies. It's a sad reality.
What do you think about the vaccine? I don't know whether you've gotten the jab just yet. I hope you have. If you've not, then I don't know what you're waiting for. But it's quite a crazy thing to even imagine.
You know, let me start by asking myself or asking every other viewer there.
Yeah.
I don't know why the vaccine are not enough. Is it because the manufacturers are not manufacturing enough vaccine?
Well, we're getting this from India, and India got to a level where it was on its knees, and maybe that's what informed also the delay.
Yes, I know the India was okay. India, it was a bad scenario.
Yeah.
But now, even before the wave in India, the first vaccine was not enough for the population in Kenya, right?
That's true.
So that is the same question I want to pose. I don't know if the vaccine are not enough in our stores because their manufacturers are not manufacturing enough vaccines, or is it because that our government is not being serious about purchasing the vaccines? Now, if you talk of the vaccine, but I want to tell everyone there, let us not take speculations from social media and the rest and other places about the effects of the vaccine. Let us wait from the Ministry of Health.
Yeah.
But you see, on my opinion, I would like to say, if somebody is able to get another vaccine, they could have just let the flow of vaccines, as long as the vaccine is verified. Let the vaccines come. Why are you limiting people to one direction?
Okay.
Yes, if you are able to get another type of vaccine, go and get it. Because even the one that they are limiting us to is not enough so far. Yes.
So you are advocating for what it is that was brought on board, that is Sputnik.
Yes, Sputnik.
Let the people enjoy Sputnik.
You know, if you want to enjoy KGB stuff, enjoy KGB stuff. That's a phone.
Okay.
If you want to enjoy Pfizer, courtesy of, you know, it's upon you. You know, I believe that's the only way we'll move forward. Because
yes, about the vaccine now, that is now could have been the conversation right now.
Yeah.
Instead of talking of referendum and stuff. That could have been because now that is the main thing that is affecting Kenyans.
All right.
The referendum is not affecting us directly, but the health is affecting us directly.
Are you against the BBI? Are you for the BBI by any chance? We know Nordin's position.
Yes.
And that's why I'm asking you. I don't know whether he changed his position.
Yes.
He should be able to tell us if he did. But as far as I'm concerned, I know where he stands.
Yeah.
And he has valid points as to why he has that position or he holds that particular position.
Yes, now, if you're asking if I'm for or against the BBI, is now the case is at the court. Let the court decide. Let the court decide for the Kenyans. If we go for referendum, that's when we'll stand up and say, I'm going to vote yes for BBI or no for
BBI.
Yes, but for now, let the 7 judges decide, because I know they are elites.
Okay,
right?
okay, we leave it at that.
Yeah.
All right, the conversation of the vaccine is here. As we had started by saying, alongside Dodin, that people need to be careful, especially at this time when they are enjoying the Safari Rally moment, and let's all abide by the protocols that were set by the Ministry of Health. Briefly, on what is captured on the Standard newspaper, just to give you the gentleman, this is the Standard newspaper, the evolution of Deputy President William Ruto. Do we really want to talk about the Deputy President William Ruto? You know, he is this gentleman who finds himself on the papers almost on a daily basis.
Now, you see, William Ruto is one amazing politician, and I want to say that the strides that he has taken are big steps, right? Yeah. So for now, the things that are happening in his team, you see, the division in Kenya, we are heading the politics of division. Everybody is choosing his side, and that is so sad. That is so sad that everyone is trying to choose where he belongs. Right. You see, we could have been talking of politics of unity right now, but you see, everybody is trying to fit in a certain corner, right? Now, you see the movement of the, like they said, there will be an exodus. I don't know, from Jubilee to UDA or Jubilee to Asla Nation. But you see, it's happening, right? We saw yesterday, Mchomba, they took pictures with the DP. Yeah. But I would like to say this. This guy also is not a force to joke with. These are very strong force, especially when he decided to move in the terms of Hustler Nation. Yeah. You see, Hustler Nation is touching on everyone. Is it? Yes, you see, regardless of who you are, if you are a Christian, a Muslim, you are a hustler, you are Kikuyu, you are a hustler.
Is it so?
You see, yes, that is it. That is the reality. And that is what is making this movement very strong. What I want to say is, there is nobody to, hakuna wakulenga, sasawa. Yes, everybody right now is becoming at they are at a certain par. Yes. Now the problem is nyati wawili wakipigana. Yes. Now that is where Kenyans now we are suffering, because everybody is trying to make us sing his song. I don't know, I don't want to lean on one direction, but I don't know which song is being sung the most, the hustler narrative or the other one. I don't know the other one. Which one is it? So as for DP, yesterday we heard he said there are things that the government has a plus on infrastructure and I don't know, roads, health, but that was in the first term. Yeah. You see, he's so clever to pinpoint that it was in the first term, you see. Okay. But now I want to say is the government, is in the government with his boss. Right. So even in the second term, they need to tell us what is happening then. If it was on the first term that only there was progress in the government, even this second term, I don't know what
is the problem.
What is the problem?
You know, the question is, just what does it mean to be in government? Is it the party that you hold? If it's the ruling party or what? Because for a moment, there's that feeling that, well, the DP is not part of the Jubilee Party. And there's also that feeling that President Uhuru Kenyatta himself is not part of the Jubilee Party, because we've not seen him so much concerned about the activities of the Jubilee Party. If there's any, then we always hear from the Secretary General, which is what we definitely expect to get. But at this point, when it is evident that the party is almost going to its knees, we'd have expected the President to address this matter, to get us to understand that, well, Jubilee is on, the ruling party is in order, and therefore there needs to be no worry. I mean, calls to Deputy President William Ruto, why don't you exit the stage if you feel like, Jubilee is not working for you? The calls are also now on the President.
You see, what is happening is sad, because it clearly shows you that they formed, or they came together, but they both had different intentions of reasons why they're together. Either one wanted to be president for a certain reason, one wanted to be deputy for a certain reason. So if you don't have a common agenda, that is the people, that is what happens right now. Because at the end of the day, if you look at our political parties, are majorly vehicles to attain is because on the dailies and everywhere, is because certainly right now he's the only candidate running. The only,
he's the only one who's declared.
He's the only one who's the only serious contender.
Okay.
And then he has an advantage courtesy of being the DP. You realize?
Right.
So some would tell him, boss, you need to resign if you don't feel the situation is tenable. But he'll tell you, I learned from what Odinga did, I don't want to repeat his mistakes.
Okay.
Because he feels like once he resigns, then the things that will follow up.
Yeah.
Because if at all he's still the DP and still there's some hit that he receives, so you ask yourself, what if I'm not the DP?
Yeah.
You realize? So it's more this game, which is sad. Right. But you see, that is why I keep saying our integrity is the problem. Because in any developed economy or world out there, the proper thing to do for both the president and the DP, you came together under one party. But now there's someone who's saying that I am being chased away. There's the other who is endorsing another political party. But I'm not surprised, because even in 2007 he was the official opposition leader and endorsed the president at the time, that was Kibaki.
Yes. Yeah.
That shows you our parties are jokes. Because there is no single day you'll see I am Biden, for example, a Democrat, but I'm endorsing Donald Trump as a Republican. It doesn't work that way. You're saying, you know what, I'm finishing, but I'll make sure a Republican becomes president. It doesn't work that way. And that is simply because our politics are, we want to marshal support to win an election to punish someone. Kiambu punished Kabogo, let me put in quote, punished Kabogo by Waititu. Who suffered? Nairobi punished Kidero with Sonko. Who suffered?
The people.
And that is the problem.
Yeah.
We should elect people on policy and ideas, not on a packet of flour, or because I want to punish person X. That person never suffers. Because at the end of the day, most of them have looted this country.
They have so much.
They're okay.
Go and defend themselves.
The only thing they'll miss out is power. But since they know people who are in power, they still feel like they're part of power. So you as a voter, you know, we need to do proper civic education so that the people realize that, you see, even this power that people pretend to have there, courtesy of the flags that they have on their vehicles, it is delegated power. Because the real power is with you and I.
Okay.
They are there courtesy of
us. It's
more or less an employment contract. You can fire and hire at will. That's why you have.
Yes, as though the common Mwananchi does not know that.
They don't know that. That's not reality. That's why you're told you can recall a member of parliament. But have we ever done it? That's the question.
Never. Okay, and speaking of Sonko and the likes of Kidero and Waititu, I know we've touched on them briefly, but Mheshimiwa, you are vying in Nairobi, and therefore it is in the best of your interest to know that you have a governor that is good enough to at least allow you realize progress so much. So I remember the first time that Sonko came to power, the first places Alianza ko clean was those sides of Roysambu. I'd want to look at Roysambu as though it's close to Kasarani. It's actually Kasarani.
Yeah.
There was so much that was done in terms of making this place better. And here we are today. We're talking about a Sonko who is out of office, who's been blown, has received a blow from the courts after they have upheld his ouster and also endorsed that one, or said that, the likes of Anne Kanuna are in a, position legally. The appointment process was done legally, simply because, again, Sonko is the very same one that, endorsed this lady. And therefore we're having a conversation that is a bit confusing. One, the existence of NMS, whether they're in existence, legally or not. A lot of challenging in regards to Nairobi. Just where does it place this city?
Nairobi right now is under, I don't know, there is a problem with Nairobi right now as we speak. You see, with the NMS, I want to believe that NMS is nowhere in the constitution. So that is another mistake by itself. But you see, maybe this thing was introduced when the this Nairobi was dying.
Okay.
Yeah, to save Nairobi from, let me quote, the people that were killing it. And now this was Sonko and his team. But for me, I'm not sure about it. But I want to say, so far, Sonko, as we expected, like people said, my friend Nurdin said, people were electing Sonko to punish maybe Kidero. You see now, and the expectation that we had were not at par. Let me just say that, were not at par. You see, Nairobi is a metropolitan city. We don't need just somebody who's maybe taking photographs of and recording people. No, a metropolitan city need a genuine work, a genuine manager. In fact, you see, with the metropolitan city, we really need more of a manager than a politician. Do you get me?
Yes.
And now that is where the problem came in. And I think that is when the president decided now it's time to safeguard this city. You remember it was Eugene Wamalo was given he was transferred the powers to Eugene first before NMS, right? So now, as we are talking, the fate of Sonko, yes, he appointed the lady.
Yes.
And it was on the right legal mind to appoint the lady. But you see now, with Sonko again, it took too long. It took too long to appoint
him to make this appointment.
Yes. So, and that makes it fishy. So now, as for now, let the judges decide for him. But I think Sonko is just as good as he has gone.
As good and done. Whether he stands a chance to vie again is also one thing that we are questioning today.
No, I don't know.
You see the reason why he never appointed the deputy, because he always knew deep down his impeachment is coming.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And so
he wanted to land us into a point of crisis.
That was a card he had to his chest. But now the blunder he made, even in appointing this lady, it was a joke like the way he joked with Miguna.
Yes.
But I didn't know now things got serious. Because now, because he went to court and said, I withdrew the appointment. Now the lady said, you appointed me.
Yes.
And that is, politics is a game of chess. One wrong turn, you're gone.
Everything is done.
And that's what happened to him.
Ooh. All right, whether he's gone forever is a question of wait.
We'll see.
We'll get to see.
Our politicians like to rebrand.
That's true.
Because we have those who failed even in Jubilee are going to run to you, because now UDA is the new baby in town.
Yeah.
Some will go to UDA, wear the colors of UDA, and talk about how clean they are. And then get elected.
Interesting to watch. Muturi rejects plans to reduce taxes on bread and gas further. Kenyans will have to wait longer to celebrate a reduction of prices in basic commodities after Speaker of the National Assembly, Justin Muturi, turned down further amendments proposed by members of parliament in the finance bill. The finance committee had earlier in the week rejected proposed measures that saw taxes on basic commodities such as liquefied petroleum, maize flour and bread rise. The movement who's to caution Kenyans from an increase in prices. This we cannot fail to discuss.
You see, when you put taxes on basic commodities, you're in short, you're just trying to strangle the people.
Yeah.
Right now life is so hard in that even basic commodities, when you go to the market, you realize how expensive things are. It's more or less like buying an automobile, a BMW or a Mercedes Benz.
That's true.
So that shows the economy is really suffering. And when it suffers, and you see when the people, when they have nothing, you know, there's a saying, when the poor have nothing to eat, they turn on the rich. So at the end of the day, the finance bill as it is, I don't understand why we need to have 16% on the LPG. Because you see, when you put taxes on petroleum, for example, everything else goes up in the economy. Because there will be transport costs, the production costs, all that will affect the consumer. So our consumer rights in Kenya are weird, because members of parliament, as we know them, are legislatures. They are meant to offer checks and balances. I like what they are trying to do there with the finance bill, because you need to represent your people. Because when the people suffer, you're not doing your duty. And this is why I keep saying, you know, I keep saying that members of parliament and the MCAs in Kenya, we need to move away from this issue of CDF and word fund. Because they forget the core mandate is legislation. So someone thinks my mandate is building a toilet. Someone thinks my mandate is giving out a school bus. That is wrong. We need to move away from that, and they realize that legislation is the key, because that's why you're called a member of parliament and you're part of the legislature. They forget that. And when it's sad, I was watching this debate on the finance bill about the amendments. If you looked at the House, 3/4 of people are not even there. But they'll come on Twitter and rant with you. Kenyans, they say, oh, by the way, Serekali. Boss, you can't rant with me while you have the power to go and legislate for me. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
That's true. And I mean, that's what I hate, by the way. And I'm sorry that I'm saying this and I'm exposing some of the guests that I've hosted here. I have hosted members of parliament that I can tell you for free, help me to rant. Help us to rant as Kenyans. They rant and rant and rant. And then you ask yourself, then why did we elect you?
If you can rant just like me and there's nothing that comes out of it, there's no point of you being member of parliament.
That's true.
Why do you need that office? Because I believe you are more or less my mouthpiece there. So if you can't do your job, go home.
I'd love to understand this, and maybe just to loop in, Honorable Dennis. What pushes us to probably seek these political positions? Could this then justify the debate of where we need degrees for us to have representatives, or for us to have, you know, people that we elect into power? Because is there a proper understanding of what these members of parliament, these members of county assemblies, these governors, and these, you know, women representatives, the president, do they really understand what it means to go and hold that position? What the Constitution speaks as to, of course, what is their mandate? Because then there are moments we sit down and we start thinking, do they really understand this? Because when you are ranting the same way I am ranting, what does it speak? Then there is a problem at the level of the House, or maybe there's just no proper understanding of what we expect, of what the Constitution dictates as to the duties of these particular individuals.
Yes, you see, during the political season, everybody comes with his or her own agenda. Now, I think there is a misunderstanding starting from the ground. It's a time like people need to know and need to critically think and produce the right leaders to represent them at the floor of the parliament. Like you see, the debate had the 3/4 that were not there are members of parliament in a certain constituency. But you see, this bill is talking about taxes and the normal mwananchi. But because they had self-interest on vying for the seats, they cannot be there. Maybe when the bill of raising their taxes and allowances, you will see a full house. You wonder where they come from that time. You see, and in terms of degree, yes, as far as the legal mandate and the legislation that is in the House, that what you're supposed to govern at your constituency level, yes, we really need the degrees. But it squares back down to, you see, become to see leadership as a calling. These now people are taking it as I don't know, as a leisure. You find somebody goes after retiring as a doctor, he comes down now. I want to be your member of parliament. I want to be the member of county assembly. This should be a calling. This should be a calling, and that makes me think that the degree thing cannot really work, because if we talk right now at the parliament, we have majority with degrees. Of course, we have those without the degrees.
Yeah.
But you see, still there's nothing that is going on. And if you look critically, those who are vocal at the government with the right bills that we need as a normal mwananchi are those even who did attain a higher education level. You see?
Yeah.
Now, as I said, now the interest during when you're vying is what matters a lot. And this is where Kenyans need to wake up and decide. You know, somebody cannot just come after retiring and tell you, I want to lead you. Then where are you if this is what you want to do for the people?
Yeah.
And again, we push for this, the degree thing. It's going to lock out a lot of young youths. You see, there is this guy in a marginal area,
right,
who was not able to go for higher education, but is a born leader. He's a born leader. He's a leader who can make the right decision for his or her own constituency, but wasn't able to go for higher education.
Right.
Now the degree might bar such people from vying and being leaders of tomorrow. And youths that didn't manage to finish the degree course because of certain reason, maybe financial, mostly the finance, you see. Yeah, and you see with the bigger percentage of Kenya are those the percent that they are really struggling to meet their daily needs, you see. Yes, now I'd like to say that the degrees thing cannot really work for Kenyan right now.
Okay,
yeah.
Nordin.
If I could go through that degree issue, there's a quote here on the Daily Nation,
right,
by Nelson Mandela. It says, if there's one appeal I could make, it is that young people must take it upon themselves to ensure that they receive the highest education possible so that they can represent us well in the future as future leaders.
Okay.
Now let me bring this home. We first have to agree that education is important.
It is.
And it is key.
That's true.
That's the first thing. Secondly, this discussion about members of parliament and degrees, we need to have a broad discussion about our education system. Because for me, I do believe that we need to have leaders who have gone to school. Not that I'm saying those who haven't gone to school are not good leaders, but I'm saying we need to have leaders who have also gone to school. They need proper education. Now, when you talk about our education, the sad reality is that we need to have a conversation of how education is not fair in Kenya.
Okay.
How there are people who have not attained education, not because they didn't want, maybe because there are not enough funds for them to finish school, or maybe because where they come from, the school is more or less a myth and they're born cattle rustlers.
Yeah.
So that brings about, we should not narrow it down to just parliament, but look at the broader aspect, that is education system in Kenya. Is it failing? Yes, it is. Because we have so many people with degrees out here with no jobs.
Yeah.
Is it failing? Yes, it is, because we have people who are unable to attain education, but they have the will to attain the education. Now, when you bring it to members of parliament and county assemblies, I believe for those more so who are making noise and are part and parcel of parliament. You know, if you've been in parliament for the past 5 years and you still don't have a degree, for example, why are you even making noise?
That's true.
Why are you even
You had
making
a chance
noise?
to.
They have so much time, so much
And
free
money.
time and money. Why are you even making noise?
Okay.
You realize?
Yeah.
For those who don't have degrees, you know, the sad reality is that there are young people who want to vie, just like you want to vie. They don't have degrees. Not because they don't want, but because of the situation. Now we need to look into that as well. But now my question, you know, he said like 3/4 of members of parliament have degrees. Questionable degrees, let us put it that way.
That's
we have people who have gone to universities, a course that is 4 years, they graduate in 2 years. They've never been in school, but the graduation photos, they look better than everybody else. So we go back to institutions that clear these individuals, be it IBC, be it EACC, institutions again. So Kenya is, things are being done in a topsy-turvy kind of situation, and it's upside down, which doesn't make sense. So for us to move forward, a thorough cleaning of our institutions needs to be done.
Okay.
Because I'll say this here, education is important. Whether someone tells you no, it is important.
It is really important. In as much as maybe we do not apply exactly what it is that we learnt in school.
Yes.
You know,
that is why
direct.
I believe it needs to be equal across board.
Yeah.
Let anyone who wants to attain education be able to attain the education.
That's
because
true.
if you say oh, members of parliament or county assembly should not get, you don't have to be educated. You are also saying that you don't need to go to school, but it's a shortcut in life.
Yeah.
You realize?
That's true.
Yeah. So first
create
and
a
foremost,
balance and also encourage.
We have a unique situation where there are young men or ladies who want to vie for posts. They would like to, and maybe they do have the leadership capacity or capabilities, but they don't have education. That needs to be looked into. But we should not sit here and say education is not a must.
Education is really important. That would also be another factor. I don't know, gentlemen, time is up. It's 9 minutes past the top of the hour, and therefore I think it's only fair that we close it at that. I would have loved for us to look at the cartoon editions across the papers, but then because of the aspect of time, we are not allowed. I only am able to project one. I guess this has got something to do with Mount Kenya region. If you can't beat them, or if you can't beat him, join him. There should be Muturi and the likes of Waruguru, yes,
Wairia,
and Waiguru, Wairia,
Waiguru, Kiunjuri, and Miss Kabogo.
Yes, who could be against this Mount Kenya conversation.
And Munya has declared himself as de facto spokesperson.
Yes.
Mount Kenya right now, they feel like orphans with the political leader.
Okay.
They want a leader. That's why everybody is trying to grab that position, right? Yeah, that's why you find there is, I don't know, somebody is with Gema trying to install them. Yeah, but they are orphans. When they left the president, Uhuru Kenyatta at the Mount Kenya region, now everybody's trying to fit on that his own position. And that brings down that, I don't know, maybe the president has lost his political ability and power in Mount Kenya. And that is why it is happening that way.
But Mount Kenya is an interesting space. You cannot just...
I'm just quoting. Okay, the events that are happening shows that maybe that is what is happening, that what was happened in Mount Kenya.
But
to put it simply,
they don't have a godfather in politics.
They are confused as of now.
They are confused.
To put it in a simple way, if they don't care, if they don't take care, they'll find themselves as Western Kenya. Divided.
Oh my goodness,
it's going to be a swing vote in Mount Kenya. Mount Kenya is going to be a swing vote area.
Yes.
They'll have so many votes like Western, but never united.
Well, that's an interesting one, and they needed to be keen on that. Like you say, it's going to be a swing.
Is there going to be a swing vote area? Because right now we have people alienated to Asla Nation, and the other one at the Kileweki,
and others that have their own parties.
And we have a lot of parties in Mount Kenya right now.
Kiplagat Dennis, political analyst and also aspirant. Thank you so much for your time. Nordin Kagai, who's a legal expert, Asante Sana, also for your time. We close it at that, but not in totality, because Freddie is still on standby, and as promised earlier on, we'll be having Omosh coming this morning so that we also get to know what more after that moment when Kenyans came together for him, and he said it is time that he gathers the pieces. It is time that he goes back to, of course, the glory days. Has he? It's a question of wait and see. We'll get to engage him, and he tells us the same. Make sure that you keep it right here. A cake for you from Valentine's Cake House. So keep dropping those comments. 22047 is the SMS short code. We sample some of your comments, and we'll tell you who will be the winner of the cake, even as you request the music that you'd want DJ Fredia to play for you. So let's take that break, and we come back with more.